Grim the Gray here, and welcome to another edition of The Safe Way to Be Dangerous. Now this episode is going to cover a very dangerous and unsafe practice known as the 5-finger fillet. So what we mean by this, and you often see it in a fair amount of movies and stuff, is when some character has their hand usually placed down like this on a table, and they take a knife and they start jabbing throughout. Now many people wonder, why would you do such a thing besides just to show off? And well, that's one of the main reasons, but some people also gambled on it. There's a fair amount of different versions, but there's a lot of ways that you can do this kind of stuff, or at least practice, without being a complete idiot and just stabbing the crap out of your hand. Something I've witnessed many times. One of my favorites, for example, is use whiteboard, okay? Or Sharpie. Alcohol gets off Sharpie, but whiteboard's quite nice. And this is a fun game too, because what you can do is you can practice with your friends. Now the first thing to remember is that every time you put the hand down flat, same way. Really, really stretch it out. This way, no matter what, you always have your hand in a similar position. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little circle inside each one of those. So first thing, nice and flat. Bam. Got my hand down. All right, we'll pop this guy off here. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to do as small a circle as possible. Okay? Remember, as wide as we can, because we're just going to like, bam. Think of it as like, you're slapping down on the table. Okay? This right here is one of the hardest. This is where you really think the Vulcan thing, really get those separated. Okay? Okay, right here. Now this one you can give yourself some space, way more than you would actually think. All right, so now, technically, as long as I can slap my hand down like that, I'm going to be protected. So that's the very number one key thing that we want to practice, is just getting it down like that. Not looking at the table, look someone in the face, boom. This way, no matter what, you're pretty much guaranteed as long as you stay within those circles. So while the hand's not there, just practice with the offhand. See? So let's see. If I had missed, bam, where would that have gone? Right into the hand. Now what you notice what I'm doing is I'm actually lifting this quite high up. That way you don't end up slicing. So you really want to go at least 2 inches above. And think of it more of a stamp. Don't think of it as moving across quickly. So if my hand's in there, it's more of a stamp, 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 stamp. As opposed to trying to go like this, it's more, okay? And you can see, each time you get one of these, now it's hard because I'm kind of trying to pay attention to the camera too at the same time. But this lets you know exactly. So the first practice, and then just, throw the hand down. It looks like on that one, at least we've got one or two there because I'm not paying too much attention. This is what you do to practice something like this. You could play a good fun drinking game or whatever. And just remember, as long as you get that, you're pretty much solid. Now, it's good to go slow. So, for example, let's get rid of that guy. Get the nice fresh hand here. Okay, now I'm pretty familiar with where my circles are. Okay, so I know pretty much if I'm in, I'm going to be in. Now, if you notice, so far we're still pretty good. Now, we stayed pretty close. That one's slightly out, slightly out. Okay, there, we're pretty safe. And there's no danger also, and it's tons of fun. At least do this for at least a couple years before you try to be stupid. Okay? The first thing, got my circles, got my hand. Practice this blindfolded. Bam, 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 bam. And no matter how you have your hand, spread that out. And remember, it's down, 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 down. Think of it like you're stamping a library book.